Hello again! Even if you don't like to see me. This time, we're going to talk about love. So, they taught us so many things about love. And somehow, that's exactly why love becomes so confusing. They said, love is giving and expecting nothing in return. And so you gave. You gave until you were empty. And when there was nothing left, they left. And you were left asking why. They said, you know you love someone when you fight, but you choose to stay and make it work. So now fighting becomes proof, pain becomes evidence, exhaustion becomes normal. And you start believing that if someone hurts you and stays, that must be love. But tell me, isn't that miserable? Is love really sacrifice? Is love staying even when you're breaking? Is love forcing yourself to go places you hate, doing things you don't want, silencing yourself, just so someone else can smile? No, that's not love. That's compromise. And yes, we compromise for love. Because when someone's happiness genuinely makes you happy, it doesn't feel like losing yourself. They say fighting makes relationships stronger. No, fighting without learning is just distraction on repeat. Fighting over the same wounds again and again doesn't build love. It drains it. A relationship rooted in negativity is not love. Conflict only becomes healthy when something is understood, when something changes, when two people grow instead of bleed. What about staying when someone is sick? When your partner becomes bedridden and you decide to stay forever? That is only love if staying brings you peace. But if you stay because you have to, because it's your duty, because society told you it's your role, then that is no longer love. That is obligation. That is sacrifice. And someone who truly loves you would never want your life to become a sacrifice for theirs. I know I wouldn't. They say love is friendship. They say love is openness. Nietzsche once said, love is a state in which a person sees things most decidedly as they are not. Love, when blind, becomes fantasy. And fantasy doesn't last, especially when reality is hurting you. Not all friendships are honest. Some are built on masks, on hidden intentions, on things unspoken. Love doesn't require starting as friends. Love requires seeing the truth, their truth and yours. Because living in reality, even if it's imperfect, is far better than living in a fantasy that slowly destroys you. That's why so many people escape into drugs, into distractions, into illusions. If you want your fantasy to become real, you must know who you are, what you want, and what truly makes you happy. So, what is love? For me, it's simple, really. Love is happiness. Your happiness. Happiness is a feeling, a real and good one. But here's the difference that people fails to understand. Happiness is the feeling, and what makes you happy is the source of those feelings. Happiness is the feelings like peace, security, freedom, warmth. What makes you happy is the person or the thing that gives you that happiness, that good feeling. And yes, money can buy happiness. Freedom costs money. Peace costs money. Time costs money. What money cannot buy is the happiness a loved one gives you, because that kind of happiness is priceless, unless you're the only one in love. Some people call their partner their world, their life. And that sounds romantic, but it's actually dangerous. Because the moment a person becomes your happiness, you give them power over your entire existence. And when they leave, you believe happiness leaves with them. But happiness is always yours. Only you can feel it. When you understand the difference, you realize this. You can always create happiness again through another person or another path or another version of yourself. Then, love is simple. The one who makes you happy, you love. The one who makes you happiest, you love most. But no, you cannot magically make yourself happy in misery. Happiness is situational. It needs a source. You cannot be happy where pain is meant to be felt. That isn't strength. That's denial. Now, let's talk about relationship. What does a woman need to be happy? Security. Financial, emotional, mental, and physical security. When those exist, love has space to grow. Being in love means this. Their smile softens you, their presence calms you, their happiness matters to you. Like a mother loving her child. But remember, being in love quickly fades when basic needs are no longer met. Unconditional love is beautiful between a mother and child, but between lovers, it becomes a cage. Unconditional romantic love destroys people, because when people becomes your happiness, you allow abuse, you excuse pain, you stay no matter the cost, because losing them feels like losing life itself. When you understand that your happiness is not the person, but their presence, their behavior, their character, you realize something powerful. Those qualities exist elsewhere. And that's when you're truly free. That's when love becomes real. And remember this. The moment sadness outweighs happiness, the moment misery becomes louder than peace, it's time to go. Because love should never feel like survival. Till next time!